Okay. So now, why do I clap my hands every time? I've come to realize that I've started clapping my hands more for videos, and it's to change the energy, like set it in to where we're going with this video. Okay, so I was told that I needed to explain that, so don't mind me. So I want to touch on a subject that can be a little controversial with some people, but it's not so much anymore now. But okay, I am going to tell you a story about God. Now, I say God because God is that one thing, that oneness. The universe, if you want to call it the universe, whatever else other people are saying, that's fine. But personally, I believe that God and the universe are completely different things. Okay, so the universe is a different kind of energy. God is one energy, oneness, where everything came from, that kind of thing. So, two completely different things. Now, I want to tell this story because of the fact that so many people still have this like belief that, and I don't know why, but God is this person like up in the clouds, and he's watching over us, and that he, has this beard and this robe, and like, it's not quite it. Not quite it. Sorry. I laugh about it because it's just when you first, like, when you grow up hearing that, it's like, like Santa Claus is real, of course, like as a child you believe that, and then like now, once you like start to wake up and realize a lot of things, you're just like, that's so silly. Like, why did I believe that? Okay, but now the whole God and, watching over us and everything like that. God is an energy that is in every single human being, in every single thing. Not saying that we are the God. No one is the God, but we all are gods and goddesses. Okay? Because of the fact that we have that energy in us, that little piece, that little fractal piece that we all carry. Now, why I bring this up is because of the fact that we all have that ability to be close to God. We can all speak to him. I mean, I know a lot of people do. And I say him because God is a more masculine energy, okay? We all have masculine and feminine energy. If you don't know that, then you do. Some of us have a little bit more of one or the other. It's also the fact of the matter that some of us, accept more than the other because we're, some of it's trauma, some of it's what we've had to like survive in, that kind of feeling. But we all carry equal parts of masculine and feminine energy. Okay, so my oldest daughter, I'm going to tell this story so that you understand what I mean by God is in all of us. My oldest daughter, who is 17 right now, when she was 16 last year, when we were living into the other apartment, she she struggled with a very long time with believing in a God. And I understand that. I get it. I've always believed in God because I was close to God, because that's who was protective of me during the times that I had to get away and I couldn't get away physically. So I would leave spiritually, and I would astral travel as a child. So that was a little hard coming out. Like, it came out, and sometimes, working on that throat chakra and being able to finally speak your truths, it's a whole different experience. But I knew that God was real. You could never, ever change my mind. As a teenager, I was angry with him. Very angry with him. Up until I got sober and I found him again. I was very angry. And that angry teenager, like you don't understand, but you're angry still. So I was still very angry with him. And it wasn't until recently that I had my spiritual awakening again. I was rewoken up, my reawakening, and I had to go on this journey to heal myself and find my truth. During that time with my kids, we were talking about our beliefs and stuff like that, and she did not believe, and I was curious as to why. So it came out that she didn't believe because how could she believe in a God that she would pray to as a child to get her father to stop drinking and to stop doing what he was doing? That broke my heart when I heard that. Because I knew why she didn't believe, because she was angry. Because he didn't answer her prayers. And we've all been there. We've all had those moments where, our prayers weren't answered. But I also knew that there was a reason why those prayers hadn't been answered. And there's a good reason. Every time I think of that, I think of that song. I can't remember who sings it right now, but Unanswered Prayers. And it's a country song. And it's so true, because in the moment we don't realize why those prayers are not being answered. We're just angry about it. It's not till later that we realize the importance of those unanswered prayers. Now, I bring this up because we sat there that night and she cried, and I held her. And I told her, I said, well then, why don't you ask God to give you a sign? In whatever way you see fit, that you want it to be done, you tell him. So, I love her for it. So, she chose the most obscure way of getting a sign. So, back when we were living there, all three of the kids were sharing one bedroom. We had 2 bunk beds and another bed. And there was like 3 of those cube, like the ones that you can put the drawers, the fabric drawers in. 3 of those for each of the kids in the room. The room was packed. It was packed. So you could barely get by, you know, to get to certain things. And then there were the desks too as well. So you could barely get by. So there on one of the on her dresser, what it was the cube was kind of her dresser. And she had her stuff on there that decorated it. There was this old play tea set. And when I say play tea set, it was a tea set that the kids all used to play with in the bathtub when they were little kids. And it was a Fisher-Price little tea set that had like 2 teacups and a little like container. And they used to play with it in the bathtub all the time. Some of the things that they kept from whenever we moved and got rid of all of our stuff and stuff like that. But some of the things that they kept. Okay. So she asked that God would reveal that he is here and that he is listening by knocking over that tea set onto the ground. Now, this tea set she chose because it was sitting far enough back on the shelf that no clear little like jostle's gonna knock it over, and nobody was going to knock it over. Like it wasn't gonna be knocked over. She tried to make it damn near impossible. She really tried. It was so cute. I was just like, okay. And I'm not gonna lie, I was praying in that moment. I'm like, okay, you gotta do this. Like, I know you can. I know you can. And here comes the funny part about it, is that nothing happened that night. Nothing happened the next night. Nothing happened the night after that, and nothing happened for a good hot minute, a good while. See, the thing about it is that, much like with manifestations, you can't sit there waiting for it. You can't expect it to be coming and thinking about it and worrying about it and all of that stuff. You just have to kind of let it go and let it be. Now, I don't know how long it took. I really cannot give you an actual deadline because that's how much we forgot about it. That's how much we forgot about it. We had other things that came up, all that. So, in that moment, like later down, I hear out of nowhere, coming from the bedroom, this crash and something, like it sounded like something breaking, something falling, and I instantly knew. I was like, I know what that is. And I went running into the bedroom and I swung open the door, and Danielle, my middle daughter, was like, it was just an accident. And I was like, what happened? She's like, it's okay, everything's fine, you know. And I was like, no, what happened? And she's like, I hit the table, and then the table, like, it knocked over the teacup and the tea set. And I'm like, stop right there. Stop right there. And Emily's on the bottom bunk, and she created this little, like, for her privacy, she put blankets all around the bottom half to be able to, like, have her own space, you know, kind of thing, which I'm okay with. That's fine. I get it. She needed that. So I'm like, Emily, but she usually has her headphones on. So you kind of have to like open the curtains or, you know, like hit the bed or something like that to get her attention. So I'm like, Emily. And I finally like get her to like come out, and I'm like, did you hear what happened? And she's like, no, what? And I'm like, look. And I point at the ground, and she sees the tea set, and she's like, oh my God. And I was like, there you go. I said, there you go. There's your sign. I was like, there's your sign. There's your sign. And so she was just like, okay. And I was super elated because I'm just like, thank you, God. I knew you'd come through. And Danielle's like, what the fuck just happened? She's just like, what's going on here? And I'm just like, don't worry. Don't worry. I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later. And I was just super thrilled. So the point of all of that is to realize that God is not external. He doesn't come in and he's not a spirit and he's like, not like, whoop, let me just knock that shit off the table. No. God works through us. God is in every single one of us. The small acts of kindness that we do, the things that we do to help another person, the love that we share, our voices that we speak out against. These are all parts of God. And so there are so many times whenever we're in those deepest, darkest moments and we pray and somehow someone comes into our life or somehow something happens that we did not expect to happen. It's because that person heard that call and that person was meant to come in. So I say that is that, you know, you can do these things too. You can listen to that little voice that tells you to do the right thing. Mine's a little bit louder because I've been following it for so long. That little Jiminy Cricket that's been sitting there telling you to do the right thing, like in Pinocchio. Yeah, that's God talking to you, you know? So I just wanted to, thank you. Thank you for the confirmation, guys. I just want to tell you guys that, you know, he's here, he's listening, and he loves you. And, you know, help him out. Do those things that give somebody that hope, that belief in something greater. Because once you have that hope, once you have that belief, the world is a whole lot less scary. It's a whole lot less, you feel a lot less alone. So I wanted to share that story with you and have a beautiful, blessed day. And I love you.